went onto the pad, and it had literally trickled onto the stumps, and just the leg bail was removed, and he was unfortunately bowled by Cornwall for 14. And then a nice little partnership between Hodge and Ogis that has realized so far 31 runs, and these two, they kept the Leeward Islands bowlers at bay for most of the last session. So we're just getting ready for the start of play this morning. Jeremy Louis is the man is going to open the bowling. Again, good morning to you, wherever you are. It's a sunny conditions here at the Queen's Park Oval. I'm Colin Murray. Alongside me, of course, former Trinidad and Tobago national team batsman Anil Raja. Anil, victory today should be assured for the Leeward Islands, but as you keep saying, cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties. Here's Louis with the first ball.
Good morning to you, Colin Murray, and a very good morning to all our viewers and listeners alike. Yeah, well, it seems more than likely that there would be a Leeward Island Hurricane victory here today, Colin. I mean, it's a very tough task here.
But do you see any possibility at all, Anil, that the Windward Islands Volcanoes can get these runs?
Well, 286 in a day's play, I mean, that should be on par. The thing is whether they can stay out there and get big scores. You need batsmen getting big scores, and not only one of them, because they've already lost 3 wickets. And the rest of the batting, they don't have a lot of specialist batsmen there, probably Kottoy and wicketkeeper Smith. So it's a very tall order here at this time, and more than likely we might see a Leeward Islands victory here today.
Yes, I tend to agree with you. If the Windward Islands were to get these 413 runs, well, it would probably be one of the greatest ever victories in regional cricket. As skipper Hodge is the man on strike. He was very watchful yesterday, as he normally is. He's had his 25 off of 99, off of 100 deliveries yesterday. 25 not out off of 100. And Ogis himself was very watchful, 18 off of 46 deliveries. And you have to think, though, that they just can't just play for survival today. They got to, they got to look for runs. They got to get the ball in between the fieldsmen, open the gaps, wait for the bad ball. They just can't defend it, because if you defend, you're going to bring more pressure on yourself. Jeremy Louis is the bowler. He is in his 9th over, none for 33. As we look at the scoreboard, it says Durham, but it's not Durham. He bowled yesterday, the final over of the day's play, and he has had impressive figures of 9 overs, 7 middens, none for 7. But it is in fact Jeremy Louis that is opening the bowling, and just 2 deliveries left in the first over. And Hodge is going to get some runs. No, he's not, because he's hit it just to the right of Terence Ward at that forward square leg, and he was moving swiftly to his right to stop that ball from going past him. And there is no run. Score remains 127 for 3. Interesting, they've opened the bowling of, which is expected. We didn't see Louis yesterday. It was basically an all-spin attack with Durham and Cornwall for a lot of the time. So he's been well rested overnight, and he should be firing on all cylinders this morning.
That's right. In the latter part of the day's play yesterday, Colin, you were asking about Louis if I thought that they should have brought him on back sometime late yesterday evening, and I thought I mentioned that he's probably being rested to come out fresh this morning, and it appears that is what they did.
Yeah, I would expect, and maybe Archibald might open, or they might go with Cornwall again. So we'll have to wait and see. Just at the end of this play yesterday, well, of course, Barbados, they won by an innings and 22 runs against the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. Another very disappointing display from the Red Force. The only man really getting some runs is Yannick Carrier. He got 35 not out after his 100 against the Leeward Islands. And Keegan Simmons, he got to 31. Outside of that, nobody really got any runs for the Red Force, and a really disappointing performance from them yet again. 133 in the first innings and then 139 in the second innings. Down at Diego Martin, well, it's runs are plenty down there. Guyana Harpy Eagles, 584 for 7. Tejnarine Chandapol, 184. And then Vishwal Singh, he's 100 not out. Chandapol, Hemraj, 78. Imlak, 79. Leon Johnson, 57. They really took the Jamaican Scorpions bowling apart, the bowling attack apart, and they were really scoring runs freely down there. As Cornwall starts a new over, he's already had 17 overs, 2 for 20. So that was in reply to 393. So it means that the lead so far, the Harpy Eagles, they've got a 191-run lead. And they would be certainly looking to see if they may bat for half an hour again today, add another 30, 40 runs, get the lead up to 220, and see if they can dismiss the Scorpions for under that. So that should be a very interesting game down at the Diego Martin Sporting Complex. And though that's Boldem, well. He picked the wrong line. Achi, Ogis, and the Leeward Islands, they have struck very early this morning. As Ogis, he was on the front foot, and at the last moment seemed to just play inside the line. He was leaving that ball, and it took the off stump, and Rakeem Cornwall has struck again. It's 127 for 4. Cornwall has picked up his 3rd wicket of the innings. Ashi Ogis goes bowled by Cornwall and his overnight score of 18. It's now 127 for 4, and the Leeward Islands, they are now starting to be, or should I say, they're on course for their, what we expected is their victory.
Did he offer a shot there, Colin?
Well, I thought he got on the front foot and thinking maybe, Anil, that the ball was just wide of the off stump. He seemed to me to play inside the line. You know, he just kept his bat inside the line of the ball, thinking, in my view, that it might have been beating the off stump.
I want to believe that he didn't offer a shot, and he misread that ball completely from Rakeem Cornwall. It was beautifully bowled. It was pitched just outside off. I can't understand why he was leaving that alone, because the previous delivery he had played perfectly correct for a similar delivery, getting the bat and pad close together and right behind the line of the ball. I thought he was outfoxed by the old Rakeem Cornwall. Pitching that one with the angle, and it just went straight through. It passed just at the top of the pad, so it apparently would have passed where the bat was not. The bat was outside the line. Well,
I just thought he played with the bat and pad close together. You know, he came down with the bat and pad close together, didn't read the line of the ball, that it had come back and hit the off stump. So he was sort of almost playing inside the line. You know, I'm not doubting that it may have passed over the top of the pad, but you know, it was a strange looking shot from him. You could see him thinking all the time to get on the front foot, to Cornwall, get on the front foot. But in so doing, you've also got to pick up the line of the ball quickly and get in line with it. And if it comes back in, you're on top of it. If it spins away, then you let it go. And I'm not sure he misread it.
He misread it completely.
Well, the man who got 73 not out in the first innings has come to the crease. That's the vice captain, Kenron Kottoy. So another left-hander, but he batted so very well in the first innings. He took charge of the latter half of the Windward Islands innings, came in with the total on 73 for 4. There was 73 for 2 and lost 2 quick wickets to Jeremy Louis. And then he came in and he weathered the storm.
Oh, my.
Well, loud appeal goes up for stumping. Not out. Hamilton felt that Kottoy's back foot may have just raised and come out the crease, but umpire Blaze said not out. But that's another interesting delivery. And Kottoy also leaving it alone, but that just let's have a look. Yeah.
See where he played a shot. No, this is what.
There, that is Kottoy.
If you can get the one that with the dismissal, it would be interesting.
Yeah, wait
a while. Our technician is trying to get it up and running for us.
Yeah, but that one he left it. That was probably a good leave, because he at the last moment he withdrew his bat.
So similar to what happened to Ogis. I thought he almost got bowled again.
Yeah, well, Very interesting. Hamilton took the bails off and indicating to the square leg umpire that Kottoy's back foot might have been just raised slightly in coming forward and leaving that ball alone. But it's going to be Louis. It's going to continue his 10th over. That's wide of the leg stump, not a good line. Well, he's in his 10th over, none for 33 thus far. Skipper Hodge is on 25, batting well. Just has had the 1 over so far this morning, which he negotiated from Louis. But the Leeward Islands certainly in buoyant mood at this time because they've picked up that wicket of the overnight batsman, O'Geese. And it's a situation now where this pair and probably wicketkeeper Smith to come are the last of the recognized batsmen. Of course, Preston McSween got 86 against Guyana, but hasn't done anything since then. You look at Preston McSween's scores since then. He's only tallied 120 runs before this game started, and in one innings he had 86. Is Hodge going? That's going to run away for 4, is it? No. That's a good bit of fielding on the boundary there. Excellent fielding by Ross Powell. And they come back for 2. And so when you look at McSween in the next 5 innings, he's only tallied 34 runs. So it's not much hope in terms of him. Well, he hasn't been consistent in getting good scores, and none of the others as well, because once but as you said, Anil, if he's going to do that, maybe he should think of a second slip.
Yeah,
I mean, the runs, and no, it doesn't matter now.
I would have another slip or 2 there. He's bowling some quick deliveries as well. You're right, Colin. He's putting some extra in some of the deliveries, and they're really coming through fairly quickly. He varies his pace, really.
He's come round the wicket to Kottoy. Very interesting that he has started from the pavilion end and Cornwall from the Willie Rodriguez end. I thought there might have been the other way around, where Cornwall would have preferred to be operating from the Brian Lara pavilion end and Louis from the northern or Willie Rodriguez end, but they decided to let them.
Well, it has worked for Cornwall. He's picked up 2 wickets already. 2? Yes, he's picked up 2 wickets already, so seems to be successful at any end.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's my theory, Anil. A bowler is good from any end.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, and
looked as though he pulled it from on the stumps, Colin.
Yeah, he did.
It was short enough.
This southern end is called the Willie Rodriguez end, but he operated most of the time. He has runs for Kottoy. That's a good shot. He used his feet, came down the track, and he pushed it really more than a on drive. It was more of a push past the bowler, and it beat the man at mid-on, who's hurt himself, Powell. He's done some damage to himself there in picking up that ball. He seemed to have done some damage to his back. And they've been able to pick up 2 runs. In the meantime, Powell, just out of our picture, is lying on the ground. Devon Thomas is standing over him, seems to be holding his back. So he must have done some sort of damage, and all the players are now walking towards him. But Kottoy picked up 2 to get off the mark, 136 for 4. And now Powell is lying flat on his stomach. He's still holding his back. So we're not too sure what.
It looks like a serious injury because he has not moved really. He's grimacing in pain on the ground.
He went down immediately and held his back.
Oh, he can hardly turn over.
Yeah. Well, we see the umpires and everybody coming around. One of the
He's
umpires
clutching the back.
and the physio is now getting to him, And
He
I
had
would
a
have
fair
thought.
distance to go as well, Colin.
Yes.
He's on the far side
Yeah,
of
but
the
he's supposed to be
field.
fit, and Neil Physio is supposed to be fit. He should have been sprinting across that ground. There you can see some sort of damage. He's holding his back. And you see the physio there now just...
Did that come from the bit of fielding he did there
Yeah.
a while ago when he made that?
No,
brilliant
it's
stop?
it's the
Oh.
stop here when he went for two. He sort of dived to his right to stop it, and in one motion he threw the ball, and I think he twisted. When he threw the ball, he twisted his back. But it's great to see him up. Yeah, there he is now, stretching, and yeah, so he seems to be all right, which is good news. Yeah, but I think in one motion, when he picked up he was looking to throw it to Thomas, who was at a mid-off. He went from mid-on, and he didn't throw it to Thomas because Thomas turned away. So he then had to throw it almost in a half turn. And I think that's when he did the damage to his back.
He's
So
a big guy as well.
Yeah, he is.
So probably had some problems there trying to throw off balance. Probably could have strained the lower back muscles.
Yeah, 136 for 4. At the end of the over from Cornwall. 5 runs coming from that over from Cornwall. You have to say a very expensive over because he's very miserly in general, Cornwall.
Colin, you were talking about leg spinners bowling from the southern end here at the Queen's Park Oval. That's the norm at the Queen's Park Oval and most other places, I guess. I can remember a similar situation like that when Queen's Park went to play in a game at Skinner Park against Oxford Sports Club. And Ganesh Mahabir was bowling from the southern end because that's the norm, bowling with the wind. But in that particular game, he was bowling a lot of googlies. He used to call it the zigger. Yeah, the wrong one. He was bowling a lot of that. So the breeze was working against him with that because he was not getting it to come off that quickly, and the turn was probably a little less. And I went to him and I told him, listen, why you don't try from the top end because you're bowling quite a lot of googlies and you would have the breeze to help you. And lo and behold, he went to the other end. And he started to run through the side.
Yeah. Sometimes a bowler, and it's strange, as Louis starts another over, 136 for 4. Sometimes bowlers, I don't know, they seem to just have certain ideas in the back of the head, and you got to show them, or you got to discuss with them a different angle, and. Because a lot of people say, a bowler should know how, the feel he wants and this and that. But sometimes they don't.
They need help at times.
They need help at times.
But I like to see when a bowler calls for the feel that he wants.
Yes, I agree.
It gives you the impression, well, he knows
what he's doing.
About, and what he's doing.
With that, though, Anil, it's important to have that discussion with your captain.
Yes,
because at times the captain may look at a batsman and say, you know what, this guy is weak outside on the leg stump, for example. So we attack him on the leg, but the bowler may then may have an idea before a discussion with the captain that he's going to bowl this guy outside the line of the off stump. If you catch what I'm saying, so it tends to, you got to have a discussion. So that both of you on the same page. So the captain can say, but listen, he a little weak outside, he seems to be weak on the leg stump. When you're pitching middle and leg, tends to play it uppishly. So let's attack him there. And there's always a good discussion. But with so many times we've seen a bowler doing his own thing and a captain doing his own thing, and the captain is obviously the one embarrassed because the ball tends to go for 4 where there probably is no fieldsman or something like that. But it's
Louis, he's in his third over of the morning.
Hodge is batting well, isn't he? He's I think he looks much more assured here than he did in the first innings.
Yeah, he started pretty scratchy yesterday evening late, but he settled in nicely and he was playing some shots as well. He picked up a couple of boundaries. He's looked fairly good this morning.
Yeah, he's on 31. Started with Ogis, who was on 18, and he's since departed for that same 18.
Cornwall with 3 wickets so far. Turning out to be the main bowler for the Leeward Islands in this game. He had a couple of wickets in the first innings as well.
So, final delivery of Louis' 11th over. Yet to pick up a wicket. Just too wide of the off stump, and Hodge allowing it to go through. End of the over, 136 for 4.
Well, Kottoy is just on 2. He was the top scorer for the Volcanoes in the first innings with 73. Batted pretty well for that 73. He would have to do a lot better than that here if the Windward Island Volcanoes stand any chance at all of getting that 286 at the start of the day's play this morning. Target is 413. Just the one slip for Cornwall is a forward short leg. Kottoy right behind it and pushes it back along the wicket. A slip and a forward short leg is a short mid wicket. The close catching fieldsman. 4 men in a ring on the offside, cutting a single. He's down the track, takes it on the front pad.
Very enterprising, actually, from Kottoy, because he's unlike Athenaeus and those before him. He's opting to use his feet to Cornwall, and that that's interesting because it can put some pressure on Cornwall. But if you look at Cornwall now, he's angling the ball into the left-hander, so he's not giving it much air. So if Kottoy wants to use his feet, he's got to be careful, because I can see Cornwall just pushing that ball through and deceiving Kottoy, and he could very well be stranded down the pitch. That's a good delivery. Quicker as well.
I wouldn't mind seeing him employ a leg slip or a leg gully there, Colin. I don't think the batsman is going to drive him through cover too often with that arm ball that he's bowling, and most of his deliveries are the arm ball. Look at that, going back into the left-hander. Difficult. He tried to hit it through cover there and he didn't get through.
That's
so
right.
I thought a leg slip or leg gully probably should have been.
And when you look at that cover field, or the offside field, I should say, it's very well protected. With the extra man, because they've got a short extra cover as well. There's a backward point, cover point, short extra cover, and a mid-off. And certainly you can take out one of those guys and put him into that attacking leg gully position. But the end of the over from Cornwall, a good over, a maiden over, actually. So he's completed his 20 overs now. 13 maidens. Well, what figures? 20 overs, 13 maidens, 3 for 25.
Whoa. I'm sure that Cornwall would have had the most maidens in this tournament this year. That last game as well down at Leo Martin College, he sent down quite a few maidens.
Well, before the game started, in his 100 overs, he's had 24 of them have been maidens. But he's gone up to 18 wickets now, Anil, in the tournament.
Yeah,
which is a really phenomenal figure for Cornwall. Good, nice drive from Hodge, but he hits it straight to the man there at that backward point, the very imposing figure of Daniel Durham.
18 and counting, Colin.
Yes, 18 and counting.
Yes.
Because there's still 6 wickets to get in this game, and you would expect Cornwall maybe to pick up another wicket or 2.
That's for sure. That was a delightful shot off the front foot there by Hodge.
But the man Jeremiah Louis, who hasn't picked up a wicket yet in this innings, he is on 17 at this point in time, so 3 behind Cornwall.
Getting the ball to cut back in big. Jeremiah Louis, he had Hodge hustling the shot there. It ran into the tie guard. Beaten for pace, as a matter of fact, Hodge. He's bowling some quick deliveries. bowling with change of pace as well.
It's another good delivery. Another good delivery from Louis. Just on or around the off stump. He's not a very tall man, is he? He's when you compare him, say, to Archibald and to Durham, and even to Cornwall, he's not a very tall, big, imposing figure, Jeremiah Louis. Think
Probably he's not very tall, but he's fairly big, Colin.
Yeah.
He's got some broad shoulders and he looks powerful. Strong.
I think his biggest strength really is his movement. He tends to swing the ball both ways, and I think that's his real key to success.
Well, Hodge has been on this end for the longest while, and so too Kottoy on the other end. Kottoy has been on 2 for some time. So they've really been held up here, the Volcanoes. Runs hard to come by. Pressure is on.
It's just a little bit too wide of the off stump. He needs to get closer. Needs to make Hodge play. Jeremiah Louis. Nice conditions here at the Queen's Park Oval. We've had 4 pretty good days, Anil, when you think about it.
Wonderful.
Yesterday we started a little bit dodgy, a slight drizzle, and we thought, oh boy, here we go. A sort of stop-start day with intermittent, as you being the forecaster among us here, intermittent showers. We thought that we would have had that during the course of the day, but it turned out to be a good day, just as that over has turned out to be a good over from Louis. No run coming from it. He's now completed 12 overs, 4 maidens, none for 37. Hodge is 31. Kottoy, he will take strike against Cornwall. He's on 2, and it's 136 for 4.
Cornwall, as we said, Colin, he should be applying a bit more pressure here to Kottoy. Put a couple of men close to the bat, silly mid-off or the silly point, if you prefer, leg gully. And let him know that there are men around the bat so can force him into an error. Let's see, Cornwall. Wow. He knows as well he's hardly taking the ball away from the left-hander. He's not even attempting a couple of his usual off-spinners, and as a reason he probably does not have a gully on the offside. That's the idea.
That's a good shot. That's a good shot, though. Excellent shot. He used his feet, Kottoy, and that's the thing with Kottoy. He is not afraid to use his feet to Cornwall, come down the track, and then go over the top. That was an excellent shot, I thought, from the man from the Windward Islands, the vice captain. Let's have a look at Kottoy coming down the track, and a delivery again. Anil angled into him, and he was just going with it. Hit it nicely over wide mid-on, down to the boundary for 4. He goes to 6, 140 for 4.
That's well played. This is what you need to do as well against Cornwall. The moment you have the opportunity to score off him, you need to go at him in a positive manner. Don't just allow him to bowl on a spot and do what he wants. You got to put him off as well. That's a good counter-attack there by Kottoy. It was slightly flighted, Colin, even though it was with the angle. He's coming from very wide, but there was a little flight in that one, and this is what probably Kottoy saw, and he had just the time to get down and meet it.
He used his feet well.
Yeah, very well.
But since then, Cornwall has gone a little bit flatter again, and Kottoy is playing him from the crease. That 73 not out in the first innings would have given him a lot of confidence here to come out here in the second innings and bat without any fear. It's leaving alone a ball just outside the line of the off stump. We saw what happened to the previous batsman, O'Geese, leaving a ball alone. He was bowled on his overnight score of 18. A loud appeal goes up. Once you go on the back foot, you're in trouble. He stands there. He's not happy with the decision, Kottoy. I'm not sure if he's not happy with the decision or he is not happy. Maybe he felt he got an inside edge. I'm not sure why he is standing there. He couldn't say that the ball might have been beating leg stump, But my only thing is that he may have felt that he had got, let's have a look at it, Daniel. He stood there for a long while questioning umpire Gustav's decision.
Oh my, that's out.
Yeah, once you get on the back foot to Cornwall, you're in trouble.
You're not too far away from the stump, so the ball doesn't have a lot of distance to travel. And if it hits you in front, well, I don't think the umpire has any other choice but to signal that you're out. So that's well bowled again by Rakeem Cornwall. I thought that Kottoy should have been in the front foot.
Exactly.
As well,
From the time you play on that back foot, Anil, unless you got an my only thing with Kottoy, the reason he stood there for so long, I got the impression he may have felt he might have got a little bit of an inside edge onto it. That's the only thing. But if he didn't get an inside edge, then you're playing on the back foot against Cornwall, you're in trouble, especially if you miss it. So it's the end of Kottoy. He goes LBW Cornwall for 6. He faced 17 deliveries, 140 for 5. And the thing is, Cornwall has now picked up his 4th wicket. So that's 9 wickets so far in this game.
Yeah, and he still has the opportunity to pick up a couple more, Colin. There are 5 wickets still left. So Rakeem Cornwall, no doubt, he would be the leading wicket taker in this year's tournament.
Oh, he's
by
up to
by a long way as well.
Yeah, he's up to 21.
He's always in the game. I can't keep him out, Rakeem Cornwall. What a player for his size. He really impresses me. He should be a role model for big people, Colin. I mean, I'm serious.
Big and beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that should be inspiration for big people. A man with this size can play at the first class level and do as well as he's doing.
Yeah, and do well. Not just play at the first class level, but do well.
Yeah, he played at the international level as well. It's very strong arm, very strong fingers as well, Colin. That arm ball really cuts back in, He more or less seams that ball. He's seaming it into the batsman.
You look at Cornwall and in terms of his delivery, let's just say he's now bowled 21 overs, 13 maidens, 4 for 29. What outstanding figures. In the first innings, he has had 22 overs, 5 for 61. Yeah, you look at him, I remember Lance Gibbs, and I don't know if you read it, made the point that Cornwall, he's got no real approach to the wicket, and because of that, he doesn't get enough turn. I think that's a good shot from Hodge. That's probably going to run away to the boundary. It's not going to get there, or does it? Yes, it does get there. It's a good shot. A delivery from Louis pitched up to him. He went on the front foot, and he stroked it nicely, all timing to the left of cover and down. Let's have a look. Getting just to the pitch, a half volley, and he stroked it, to the left of cover. He stroked it, and he's able to pick up a boundary. So 4 more to him. He goes on to 35 now, 144 for 5. And Lance Gibbs was saying that his approach, he's got no sort of, for want of a better term, a run-up. Now, if you remember Lance Gibbs used to really put a lot into his movement to get to the crease, and then he put a lot of emphasis on his turn and line and length. And if you ever saw Lance Gibbs' fingers, I think they're longer than any normal human's being. And but his approach, and if I remember Lance Gibbs as a youngster, he used to almost hustle up to the pitch, to the wicket, hustle there, and then you could see him ring those fingers. Cornwall basically just walks up and tosses the ball to the batsman, and Lance Gibbs was saying, if he can improve, that's runs again. Nope, that's a good stop by Durham, diving away to his left. Excellent bit of fielding, because had that gone past him, would have gone to the boundary again. So Hodge playing some shots now, looking to play that cover drive and square drive once it's pitched up to him. Yeah. And I think Kenneth Benjamin countered that by saying that it doesn't matter, what works for you, and the approach from Cornwall doesn't mean he's not effective. It's just what works for him. And it was an interesting point that probably the greatest off spinner that the West Indies have ever produced in Lance Gibbs, making that point.
Well, you can agree with uh, Lance because, I mean, he's so experienced. Pasture is probably one of the best horse spinners in
It's
the world.
over 300 test wickets.
But I agree that you need a bit of a run-up to create the rhythm and get you at the crease in the right form, really, to deliver if it's your spin or whatever. But Lance Gibbs was about 5 times less the size than Raheem Cornwall. So Cornwall probably is operating, as Kenny Benjamin rightly said, within his comfort zone.
That's a good shot, a no ball, but still, he had to put it away. Too short from Louis. And Hodge was in position early. He picked it up, and he really hammered it through the onside down to the deep mid-wicket position for 4. That's a very, very good shot from Hodge. He's now starting to look very confident, and he's playing his shots. He seems to be much more comfortable. Let's have a look at this. A short delivery. He was in position, and he pulled it. He's starting to look comfortable, especially against the quicker stuff.
Good footwork there by Hodge. He picked up that short ball very quickly. It was cutting into him, so that made it just a bit easier. Oh, it's a good York length delivery there. Yeah, I was making the point that Raheem Cornwall is bowling in his comfort zone, as Kenny Benjamin rightly said. I can't imagine Raheem running from about 7-8 paces to deliver that overbreak every single delivery. So, you know, and he's operating fairly good with his size and his approach to the wicket. But Lance is right as well. I mean, you need to get up to the stump as a bowler with a certain rhythm. And sometimes you can throw off a batsman with the manner in which you approach the stump as well.
What I think the point, that's a good delivery, beat the outside edge. So good end to the over from Louis. To the final 2 deliveries. One was cutting back at Hodge, and he had to come down on it. And this final delivery of the over, and he'll beat the outside edge.
Oh.
Seemed to cut in and then cut away from him, didn't it?
It came in probably slightly before it hit the pitch.
Yeah.
And then when it hit it straightened.
So Cornwall is going to continue, and he's going to be bowling for the first time to Smith, Dennis Smith, the new batsman. Yeah, and the thing about it, what I think the point Gibbs was making was your approach is so important, you know. And then, as I said, Benjamin said, yeah, but what works for you. So I think both of them right in a way. It's always good to hear these comments. I mean, and when a guy like Lance Gibbs speaks, you've got to listen, you know, if you understand my point.
Yes.
Because this man was, I'll give you a little story about myself and Lance Gibbs. I was at the time playing for the Trinidad and Tobago youth team, and Lance Gibbs somehow was in Trinidad. I don't know why he was in Trinidad. I can't remember for what reason. And it so happened that, Dennis Smith, that's Django in the wars again. Be Dennis Smith pulling, but he seems to be all right. May have just hit him somewhere on the pad. Well,
we can laugh because he got up fairly quickly, but I got pretty scared there. That was a full-blooded sweep, Colin. I don't know where you really took it.
I'm not sure if he took it somewhere. I hit him on the pad or something like that.
He was shocked yesterday as well, being full blow. And just before that blow he received, the guy had played a pull shot or a sweep shot in the air just to his right, and that passed with a lot of speed as well. Very dangerous position to be fielding in, really, forward short leg.
Yeah, and Lance Gibbs was in Trinidad, and we had a practice session at the Oval. So we were practicing, and I happened to be batting at the time, and Lance Gibbs walked across to the nets in his normal clothes, you know, good pants and shirt and thing, and he took the ball. Of course, I never saw Lance Gibbs play. When I said bowl, I've seen him bowl, but I never faced him or anything like that. And he took the ball, and the first ball he bowled, he just sort of tossed it up. And of course, I used my feet, and by the time the ball pitched, it spun away from me. And that was the end of that. And he said to me, "Youngster, where were you going?" But it was so, I mean, he just literally tossed the ball up, and it spun a mile. You know, but I was such a... So he promptly left the nets, thankfully, right after that. But what an individual Lance Gibbs is. I mean, met him on so many occasions since then. You know, here at the Oval, in tournaments outside. I've seen him. I met him actually. When was it? When West Indies were playing a T20 game in Florida. 'Cause he lives in the States now. He lives in Florida, and West Indies were playing a T20 game in Florida, and I met him in Florida because I went across to do the game, and we sat. He's a real jovial character. Always has a joke. Always has a story and a joke for you. Someone like Wes Hall, you know. But great character is Lance Gibbs, and a lot of these older guys, Anil, to sit down and listen to them. I remember the Past Cricketers Society. We had a function a couple of years ago before the COVID outbreak, of course, and both Gary Sobers and Wes Hall were here at the function. And I mean, just sitting down with them for an hour or more than an hour, for 2 hours, and listening to their stories about their cricket in England, when they played county cricket, when they played Sheffield Shield cricket. Sobers was giving us a story when he played for South Australia, I believe, against Hall, who was playing for Queensland. And they had a small bet. Archibald, however, just getting back to the real cricket on the field, Archibald is into the attack, and he's bowling round the wicket. He's replaced Louis. No success this morning for Jeremiah Louis. And Archibald hasn't had a great match with the ball. He got out that tremendous 100 batting at number 10, but with the ball, he's yet to take a wicket in this game. Yeah, and they had a bet that Sobers had a bet with Wes Hall that there's no way he's going to get him out. That's runs for Hodge, wide of the off stump, and he's driving it through to the cover region. It's going to go. No, yes, it does. It seems to have hit the ropes. And is there a signal? So he must have stopped it just before it went into the rope, because I'm not seeing a signal from the umpire. I thought it actually hit the ropes.
Well, we're pretty far distance from
where
that happened.
Yeah, 2 runs to Hodge then, 152 for 5. That's a good shot. It was
Yeah,
wide
he
of the off
controlled
stump.
it. He waited on it, really. You could see he had was to check the shot, but he waited on it and played it quite well in the end, because there is a man at cover. Thought for a while he was going to hit it in the air because he was nowhere close to it. The bat was way in front of him.
Well, they made a change in the field, as we see. Is it Ward sort of running across to a short extra cover now? So they've strengthened that cover region. Oh, that's a good delivery. Dennis Smith is the man on strike. So in fact, they actually ran 3. I thought they just went for 2, but they actually ran 3. So Hodge went from 39 to 42, and also brought up the 150. So 152 for 5. As the Windward Islands continue to battle here with Hodge and Dennis Smith.
They've added 25 in the 45 minutes play we have had so far.
Smith looking to drive, a Yorker length delivery. Seemed to have come off the bottom of the bat.
Yeah. Windward looking a bit flat, the Windward Islands. The Leeward Islands, sorry. Similar to what Trinidad and Tobago did in that last game when Yannick Correa came out on the final morning, and when we thought, well, it was going to be over in a matter of a couple overs, Colin, he went on to get 100.
It went till lunchtime.
Yeah.
And this one seems, I mean, we're just coming up to nearly an hour, about 10 minutes for an hour's play. They've picked up 2 wickets, the Leeward Islands, and they would want to, I think this is probably the last recognized pair. After this, we're into the bowlers. The 4 specialist bowlers, Denver, McSween, Martin, and Thomas. So the Windward Islands would be hoping this pair can at least go until lunchtime. But still, it's a long, long way to go and a long ask for these two. You would have to think that they would have to, for the Windward Islands to survive today, these two will have to bat well into the afternoon or well into the final session. And even that, if one of them gets out in that final session, it still can be all over. So Archibald has completed his 5th over. None for 19. He's got 2 maidens. And Rakeem Cornwall is going to come in for his 23rd over. What a marathon spell.
Well, I can't see him coming off the ball really because the other bowlers are not looking all that effective this morning. It would be interesting to see when he would want to introduce Durham, the left-arm orthodox spinner. He didn't bowl badly in the match so far, Durham. Got just the 1 wicket, I thought, so far.
I just find he's a little too flat. That's my problem with him. I think I would like to see him just give that ball a little bit more air. And, you know, even if you have to take the mid-off and the mid-on and push them back, you know, halfway maybe to the boundary, then that's fine. But, you know, he's running up and he's just pushing it through.
Yeah.
And you're really hoping that the batsmen make a mistake. They either go on the back foot rather than being on the front foot, or they play a false shot.
Yeah, he needs to impart a bit more spin on the ball and try to get it turn really. The all of yesterday, probably one delivery we saw that really spun.
That's right.
Around the right hand and beat the outside edge. The outside edge found here by Cornwall, but all along the ground, past where a second slip would have been. Yeah, if Durham can learn the art of actually spinning the ball and getting the loop as well, because he's a tall guy, he obviously should have some long fingers as well, Colin. He's got good control. And as we saw when he batted, he's a pretty capable batsman because he batted at number 11. Close call again or outside off?
I think that might have been just outside off. A lot of turn from Cornwall. He played a shot, Hodge, and that turned. That really turned.
Bounce as well.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the bounce.
Yeah. Thought he might have just been hit just outside off as well, but a lot of bounce. You're right.
Oh
Another one. That one is all gone.
Why is he playing on the back
went
foot?
on the back foot, and that one, there's no doubt about it, because he went on the back foot, and it was a delivery from Cornwall that there was no escaping Hodge this time. So he goes LBW Cornwall for 43, faced 141 balls, and the 6th wicket now falls. It's 154 for 6, and look at Cornwall, another 5 in the innings. He's got 10 for the match, 5 for 31. And let's have a look at the replay, Anil. Going right
How can
back.
you play back to
Yeah.
that?
It was a full-length delivery, wasn't it?
Yeah, he should have been coming on the front foot. He would have probably have been able to drive that ball. It would have been a hard volley, but Hodge decided that he was going on the back foot. That one really spun as well.
Yeah, it spun. So 143 now for 6. Sorry, 154. Where am I getting 143 from? 154 for 6. Hodge is 43. That's probably where I got it from. Hodge has gone LBW Cornwall for 43. 141 deliveries he faced. And the new man coming in, is it Kenneth Demba? It should be Demba. The partner, Dennis Smith, who is on 1, just got his first run when he got the outside edge to a delivery from Cornwall. So the new batsman coming in seems to be Kenneth Demba. And he's going to take strike from Cornwall. Cornwall has got 1 delivery left in this over. But 154 now for 6, and it is Kenneth Demba. So Rakeem Cornwall doing all the damage this morning, removing Ogis, Kottoy, and now Hodge.
They're going down like 9 pins, Colin.
Yeah, there's
Biggest partnership so far in innings was that opening partnership of 41 between Melius and Devon Smith. But
45.
Yeah, 45. bar that. 27, then 31, 14, 13, 14. So not a lot of big partnerships, and you definitely need some big partnerships.
Oh yeah, they need some partnerships. They need guys to
Really?
bat on. But I think the shot selection, when you look at it, Hodge playing on the back foot to one that he should have been on the front foot. Ogis leaving alone a delivery that just was angled into him.
Melius as well, playing on the back foot to Thomas.
That's right. Devon Smith not getting to the pitch, trying to go over the top with Cornwall. He seemed to have lost patience.
That was a disappointing out from Devon Smith.
Yeah, 12 and 40 deliveries. He was struggling a little bit. And I think I mentioned to you that it would have been an interesting battle between the two of them, because I thought Devon Smith would have had the patience to wait and wait, but he didn't. He ran out of patience and tried to hit Cornwall over the top.
Well, the big man has 5 for the second time in the innings.
5 for 31 from 23 overs.
He continues to do well at the regional level, Raheem Cornwall. I think he should be congratulated.
That's edge just in front of Cornwall.
What?
It's a little too deep there.
Yeah, he couldn't really get down in time as well.
He stopped it, which... But let's have a look. Smith just pushing at one outside the line of the off stump.
We didn't actually see it, but it dropped in front of him.
It dropped in front of him. No doubt about it.
Difficult for Cornwall as well to get down there so quickly.
Well,
his size would affect him there.
Well, give him credit though. He was able to get down. He stopped it.
Yeah,
but,
he stopped it.
The problem with that, that's a good delivery. It turned Smith. He was looking to play it on the onside. Seemed to have straightened on him. Took the outer part of the bat and went out towards a point position. Yeah. The thing with Cornwall is he would have had to dive forward. He would have had to dive forward to take that, and that's the problem
for him.
Yeah,
that would be difficult for Raheem Cornwall. That last delivery turned Dennis Smith around, Colin. he was opening up, playing on the onside, and that's so the ball hit the leading edge. Fortunate it flew on the ground.
Oh, he's looking to drive. Now Smith is a little bit of a shotgun, Anil. I've seen him before. Doesn't like to be bogged down. Hates pushing and prodding at deliveries. He wants to play his shots.
Yeah, he's got to hit it in the middle. Ooh. It's a good line delivery there by Archibald. Looking a lot better this morning, Archibald. Didn't have any success all of yesterday, and even in the first innings as well. He's in his sixth over here now. None for 19. 1 slip, 2 slip, a first and a third. This time Smith is defensive, Colin. Not every delivery he's a shotgun, you want to say?
Yeah. Well, no, he played that well, I thought. It was just back of a length, and he was jumping into position. Played it well. But once it's pitched up to him, he's going to look to drive. If it's too short, he's going to look to pull or cut. But
see, you're in your favorite red jersey today.
Yes,
Colin.
that's right.
Any
That's right. You
particular
know the reason why.
No,
Come on. You must know the reason why. That's,
I thought you would have been in all white.
Yeah, all white?
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that. This could be trouble because Smith was looking for the second. Demba was not interested, and he had to go back to the safety of his crease. But a delivery that he was pushing through the cover region, he looked for 2, and he was about quarter way back up the track looking for the second. Demba was not interested. He sent him back, and so luckily for him, he was able to get back to the safety of his crease. So just a single for Smith. Yeah, there's a little bit of an issue this afternoon, Anil, after about 3 o'clock.
Club match.
A small match.
Yeah,
a small match
in the village.
Here's Demba, a delivery angle back into him. He played it well in the end, and the ball just running off the face of the bat and going towards where first slip would be. Hamilton actually got across to stop it. But it's the end of the over from Archibald. He's completed his 6 overs now, none for 20, 2 of which have been maidens. And Cornwall, 5 for 31, is going to continue, and he's going to be bowling to wicketkeeper Dennis Smith, 155 for 6. Yeah, at 3 o'clock, there's a little issue to be settled, something called the Champions League. And a few years ago, Real Madrid, they beat Liverpool by 3 goals to 1. There was a goalkeeper called Carrius that saved for Liverpool, but he really carried Real Madrid. And 2 of the goals were certainly his fault. So there's a little bit of a score to settle, firstly, between Liverpool and Real Madrid. And you all know that when it comes to me and red, I wear my red constantly, and especially for an evening like an afternoon like today. So I expect Mohamed Salah and company, Sadio Mane, Luis Diaz, and I wouldn't go through the entire team, just those 3 I will call, that should put paid to the chances of Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah?
I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh yeah. I don't know what oh yeah means.
That's a lot easier said than done. You know that.
Of course. I got a.
You saw what happened with PSG.
Yeah. Well, not even PSG. What about Manchester City?
Oh, yes,
I got a post. Somebody sent me a post. It was a joking, really, that Pep Guardiola, of course, the manager of Manchester City, was speaking to Jurgen Klopp, manager of Liverpool, and Smith is going to get a single. The field is pretty well spread now. It seems, especially on the leg side, there's a deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, and the mid-on is about halfway back to the boundary, seemingly like actually offering the single to Smith on the leg side.
Well, I think that he's not going to resist because he really likes to play shots.
Yeah. So he took the single and he's exposed Demba to Cornwall. That's well played by Demba. Yeah, and Pep Guardiola said and of course it's a fun thing that they sent. I'll just tell you after this final delivery of this over from Cornwall. 156 for 6. The end of the over, so Cornwall has completed 24 overs now, 14 maidens, 5 for 32, and it's going to have a water break as the players are just turning to head to the players that are coming in with the refreshments. So before we take our little break here, and Pep Guardiola says to Jurgen Klopp, don't score first. Because if you quite remember in that game, he scored first and Real Madrid came at the end and scored 2 goals in injury time and went on to win the tie. So there is the scorecard for the Windward Islands thus far, and the first water break of the morning. It's 156 for 6, and look at that bowling figures. The first man, Melius, LBW Thomas for 51, and then it was the Rakeem Cornwall show. Smith, Bowl Cornwall 12, Hodge, LBW Cornwall 43, Athenes, Bowl Cornwall 14, Ogies, Bowl Cornwall 18, and Kottoy, LBW Cornwall for 6. Smith is not out 3, Denver is not out north. It's 156 for 6. We'll take a break and be right back. Well, it's Archibald is going to continue and is bowling to the right-handed Dennis Smith, who drives. That's a nice shot. That's going to run away. 4 runs. Beautiful shot from Dennis Smith. A half volley, and he was into the drive. He timed it well to the left of the man at mid-off, who was diving away. But he couldn't stop it, and it goes into the boundary for 4. That's a good shot. Smith on to 7. Just over pitch from Colin Archibald. And what a good shot from Dennis Smith. As I said, if it's going to be pitched up to him, he's going to look for the drive. He's that type of player. If it's short, he's going to be pulling it. But he settles again, waits on Archibald, and this time he's hitting it square, but a good bit of fielding by Durham, who has to move swiftly to his left. So Dennis Smith, the lone recognized wicket, well, the batsman, but a wicket-keeper batsman at the moment, batted at number 10 in the first innings. Reports were that he was not feeling all that well. Came in at number 10 and just got 11. The Windward Islands were hoping that he would have stuck around with Kottoy, who got 73 not out, but Smith felt a very sharp catch by Amir Jangu at a forward square leg. Sorry, at a forward short leg. Very sharp. It's not the kind of catches you would see from a forward short leg. It came off the bat quickly. Normally you wait till it comes off a bat pad and tends to go into the hands of the man at forward short leg. But this one, he actually turned it, and Jangu held on to a very sharp catch. And so that partnership was ended, and all hope of the Windward Islands getting to the total of 333 scored by the Leewards was all dashed when Smith went. And again, there's hope that he would stick around, but he's now got the tail with him from Denver. Well, I shouldn't say the tail, that's being unfair, but he's got the 4 bowlers with him. And a lot will depend on him. And as he's flashing at that outside the off stump, and that's the kind of player he is, Anil Raja. He played a beautiful cover drive, extra cover drive off the first delivery. Once you pitch up to him, he's going to go after the bowling. We see a change in the field immediately with that shot. Devon Thomas has walked over from that mid-wicket, and he's gone to a short extra cover.
It's a good move there. I like Dennis Smith's approach, Colin. He looks like he wants to play a shot to every single delivery. They've now brought in a short extra cover, so he has to be careful as how he's attempting that cover drive. Played a good shot a couple of deliveries ago for that boundary through extra cover. Got right out to the pitch and he stroked it beautifully through cover for 4. Looks eager to get on with it.
Oh, he
Dennis
does.
Smith.
Yeah, he's a busy little player.
Yeah, I like him. I don't know why he batted at number 10 in the first innings.
They tell me he was unwell. He had he wasn't feeling well, and so that he was a little bit on medication. So he dropped down the order, and I don't think it made much of a difference because Preston McSween went ahead of him. Well, Kenneth Denver, Preston McSween, and Josh Thomas all went ahead of him. Denver got 0, McSween got 3, and Thomas got 2. So they lasted 3, 8, and 6 balls respectively. So they lasted just 2 overs and 1 ball. So it didn't give him much more time to recover. But the end of the over from Archibald, he's completed his over there, and it's going to be Cornwall. I think his 7th over, Archibald. But it's 160 for 6, and Cornwall now has the opportunity to bowl to Denver. Of course, in the first innings, he was out caught at first slip by Powell. Powell is, in fact, at first slip here. And remember, Denver just pushing long forward, and the ball just drifted away from him and took the outside edge. There they go through for a quick single. That's good running by Denver. Excellent call. He was just on the front foot, and that ball, he was pushing it gently towards mid-on, and the man at mid-on could be, let's see, that is Devon Thomas, is it? At mid-on, it is Devon Thomas. He's deep, I would say he's about halfway back to the boundary. And Denver was just gently pushing it on the onside. Immediately he realized the position of Thomas and called for the single. And Dennis Smith responded, and they got home easily. Again, Smith's playing back and across. Got to be careful when you get on the back foot to Cornwall.
Well, you can see that Cornwall has adjusted his approach to the right-handers. He was bowling to the left-handers a lot and bowling a lot of arm bowls from around the wicket.
He's bowled them. Well, Dennis Smith has lost his patience here. He came down the track, head in the air. He was probably looking towards the I would say the Larry Constantine stand. He looked up. He saw the famous past Trinidad and Tobago all-rounder in Larry Constantine. He looked up, saw the name, and felt, well, I can hit sixes just like you, Sir Larry. But his head went in the air. And have a look at it, Anil. That's not the shot you would expect from a player of the ability, because he's got some ability of Dennis Smith. He just lost his cool, he lost his head, and he's lost his wicket.
Well, I was just about to say that Rakeem Cornwall has changed his line of attack to the right-handed batsman, because we saw all morning he was going around the wicket to the left-handers and bowling that ball with the arm mostly. That was his stock ball. Now he's got the right-hander. He realized as well that the wicket is offering some spin calling. His off-spinners are turning. Yeah. So he's decided that he's going to slow it up and bowl a lot more off breaks and vary the pace as well. He had two men out in the deep, a backward square leg and a deep mid-wicket, and then he had a close catching fieldsman at forward short leg to get over the slip. So he's decided that he was going to bowl a lot more off breaks to the off-spinner, and a good change of ploy by Cornwall. It has worked for him.
6 for 33 now. And outside of Devon Smith, who was caught at mid-off by Jeremiah Louis, the other 5 dismissals, they've all been, 3 have been bowled and 2 have been LBW.
Yeah, he bowls wicket to wicket, Rakeem Cornwall. You got to admire the man, Colin. He's pretty smart as well as a bowler.
The question is, Anil, can this last until the luncheon interval? It doesn't seem so. I did say to our cameraman, he said by 2 o'clock, and I said 2 o'clock. I did say to him by lunchtime it'll be over. So I'm still a little worried now, because it might even go to lunchtime.
You shouldn't be, calling. You would have enough time to go see that
that's
football
for sure.
match.
That's for sure. So it's Preston McSween, the new batsman.
Well, do the names K. Benzema or El Modric ring a bell?
No, never
You
heard
sure?
of them.
Okay,
What's that? K. Benzema and who?
Yeah,
El Modric?
That bell might ring this evening. You never can tell.
No, the Real Madrid is a really a player who I really like. Gosh, he's on the wing. What junior is he? Gosh.
Oh yeah, he's
Brazilian.
Good. Yeah, he's good. He is very quick.
He's a super player.
Yeah.
But I think their weakness really is in defense. And when I say weakness, I mean if you have to they can be exploited. They're a team, they love to bomb forward. And when you bomb forward, you leave gaps at the back. And that's the thing with them. They leave a couple gaps at the back, and
that's going to be a good game, Colin, for sure.
Hopefully the Salah and Mane can and even Louis. I'm very impressed with Louis Diaz. As we talk about we've certainly impressed by Rakeem Cornwall, because he's just completed his 25th over, 14 maidens, 6 for 33. Yeah, wow. And you're just getting back to quickly that Champions League final. I'm really impressed with the January buy of Louis Diaz for Liverpool. The Colombian international, he's just fitted into that team superbly, and is keeping the likes of Firmino and Jota out of the team. So it should be really a cracking Champions League final, a great end to the season in Europe.
Yeah, I think 2 of the teams are really deserving to be there. I mean, even though I am a fan of PSG, I thought that game when they got knocked out, that certainly should not have happened. I was really expecting them to be up in the final.
Yeah, I thought they would have beat Real and get into the. But you look at Real; they've had a tough run in. You know, Manchester City, PSG. I was very happy with the draw, and also they had Chelsea. So, but I was happy with the draw of Liverpool. They had I mean, you never really have an easy tie in the Champions League. You go through some really tough teams, and especially when you're playing away from home, it's always tough. But
Windward Island need 252 runs. They've got what?
You're still looking at that, Anil? You're still looking at how much runs they need?
Yeah, of course, Colin.
I'm just kidding, Anil.
Yeah.
It's a situation, though, that it's just a matter of time now before the Leewards get the 3 wickets, unless we see some heroics from the likes of Preston McSween again, and if he can get a quick fire 80 as he did in the first round against Guyana.
Well, it would be interesting after this round of matches. We know that the 2 teams who would be in contention for the title obviously would be the Pride, Barbados Pride.
Yeah, but don't rule out Guyana. I mean, I'm not sure what's happening down at the Diego Martin
they have
complex.
an outside chance today of an outright victory, but
I can't see them bowling Jamaica though, based on the type of scores on the pitch down there. We saw even up to the 4th day against the Leewards. When Carrier he got his 100, the pitch still seemed a good batting pitch.
Well, the thing is, Barbados Pride have already won. They lead the standings by just less than a point to the second place team, Leeward Islands, who are no doubt going to complete an outright victory here as well. I thought that the Leeward Islands would gain a couple more batting points than Barbados did. They scored 300 and change here in the first innings. And they got to 250 in the second innings, which Barbados, they failed to get to 300 in the first innings. And they didn't bat at all in the second innings. They would have their full quota of bowling points. So too with Leeward Islands. But I think Leeward might just push ahead by probably a point or
the batting?
Or 2 points because of the bonus points. They would have gotten more here in this last game here. So it would be a very interesting final round of matches to decide the championship.
Well, I think Barbados have to be favourites because they've got on paper what seems to be an easier game against the Windwards. But that game is being played at the Diego Martin complex. Now, that is a good batting track. You know, let's face facts. And
so is this one, Colin.
Yeah, well,
and they batted badly.
They batted badly, yeah.
So and that could be some interest in that final round. We should get a score from the Guyana game shortly, at the luncheon interval.
Yeah, still got about, 10 to 40 minutes, 45 minutes or thereabouts for luncheon interval here. If these 3 batsmen, the last 4 batsmen, 8, 9, 10, 11, can survive until then, we'll have to wait and see. He's edging, dropping just in front of Powell.
Why not another slip? Just the 2 slip in such a strong position here. You need to get these last 3 wickets here.
So Archibald completes his 8th over, none for 24. A bit unlucky there that didn't carry to Powell. Demba just pushing out at it in front of him, just outside the line of the off stump. Didn't carry to Powell, just dropped in front of him. Could so easily have gone into his hands, but I don't think he just sort of pushed at it very gently, and that is what could have saved him.
Cornwall with 11 wickets in the game so far, Colin, and counting. Look at those figures: 25 overs, 33 runs, and 6 wickets. And don't forget, he got 5 in the first innings as well.
Man of the match in front of Colin Archibald. Tough decision.
Yeah, that can be tough.
The thing is, Colin Archibald took them from 167 for 8.
Yeah, you have to look at 333 in the context. At that time they were 197 for 9.
Well, they were 163 when he came into bat.
Yeah,
they were 163 for 8 or 167 for 8.
167 for 8.
Yeah, let me just. Yeah, they were 167 for 8.
Big shot.
That's 4 runs.
It's a good slog sweep.
Yeah, that's Preston McSween. He's not going to just push and prod and let's have a look at the shot from McSween.
Gets in on the back
Yes,
leg.
and that's a good shot.
Dropping that back knee to the ground and really hoisting it, deliberately going up, because the man at the square leg boundary.
Durham.
just a
Durham
bit
is the man
forward.
down there.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's just forward of square. He hit it behind Durham by about 10 to 15 meters. Good hit.
He's gone after him again, and this time it's going to go away again for 4. So McSween he is not going to lie down and play dead. He is just going to go after Cornwall, and whatever happens, happens. Let's see this shot from him here.
Well, the man at
Going
square leg
after
should
it
be
again.
a bit more backward as well. I think Cornwall should realize he's bowling a lot of off spinners, and the ball is turning as well. And he had the man forward of square, and McSween was playing that sweep shot behind the man at square.
Well, 169 now for 7. McSween, he's on 8 from 6 deliveries. Yes, the man has gone a little.
Square.
Well, he's also posted a man at almost a short fine leg, or just a backward square leg. And McSween whipping this one along the ground this time down to the deep mid-wicket position. Terence Ward is doing the fielding and they pick up a single. So 9 runs coming from this over, and so far now Cornwall figures are 6 for 42. Before the start of this over, it was 6 for 33. So is McSween doing some damage to Cornwall's figures? Denver back in strike.
Well,
See
there's a
some-
leg gully,
Yep,
a
there's
forward short leg, and a slip. There's a short mid-wicket as well.
much more of an attacking field for Denver.
Yeah.
One would think he's not going to look to go over the top. I'll be surprised if he does that. Yes, he is looking for the single. They're going to go through fit and they get it. That's good running. As Archibald was a little bit late in getting to that ball, and they went through for that single. Yeah, going back to that man of the match discussion, Anil came in with a score at 167 for 8, got 100, undefeated 100.
A record-breaking 100 as well.
There's
Oh my
McSween
God.
head in there, looking at it high over long on. Doesn't make contact. Luckily for him, it just was outside the line of the off stump. So the end of the over, here, let's have a look at that final delivery from Cornwall. Pitching it just outside the line of the off stump. Didn't get the kind of turn on that one. Had he got some turn, it would have certainly rocketed into the stumps.
Yeah, it
But
turned, but
McSween-
not that
yeah,
much.
not much,
It's-
yeah,
It
that's
spun
right.
just enough to beat the bat, but not enough to
To
hit,
hit the
stump.
stumps. Yeah. But McSween certainly going after him. Yes, so as we were saying, 167 for 8, he got an unbeaten 100. But then you have a man who's picked up 11 wickets in the game.
I thought that Cornwall or even Jamal Hamilton would have thought about bringing on the left-arm orthodox, because the wicket is turning a bit now, Colin.
Yeah, I think
Cornwall is ripping it, and you can see that he's getting a lot of turn.
maybe they're hoping that Archibald can at least pick up a wicket, because he not got a wicket yet in this game. That's a good shot from Denver.
Well,
Delivery angled into him.
The thing is, you got a youngster on the side who is just about getting his first couple of matches, and you're in a situation where you should, you can't lose. The wicket is offering some turn on the final day. Yeah, I would have brought him on just to give him the exposure as well. A couple of wickets here, that can boost his confidence as well. But okay, Archibald has been selected to bowl as well. None for 24. This is his 9th. Didn't pick up any wickets in the first innings as well. So he struggled here a bit. He did extremely well down at Diego Martin in the last game when he picked up 4 for 27. I thought that were his figures. He bowled extremely well in tandem with Jeremiah Louis. Jeremiah Louis was exceptional in that match. He really broke the back of the TNT batting in both innings. Had the top order batsmen back in the pavilion with some really swinging deliveries. So I left.
Yeah, it's just a little too wide of the off stump from Archibald. He needs to get closer to that off stump. Pitching it, he should pitch it up as well to Denver. Let him look for the drive, or if he can just pitch it up, hit the seam and let it cut away from the right-hander. Who knows, he can get the edge. Just got a slip on a very, I would say, more like a third or fourth slip in Powell, who's very close now. He won one of the, in the over before, they got the edge and they've dropped just before Powell. So he's come closer. Here they go through for an easy single, because that ball was played to the right of the man at that's the substitute fieldsman. Kofi James is on, and had to move swiftly to his right to do the fielding. Not sure who he's on for, Kofi James, but he is on the field.
It was a good bit of fielding, though.
Yeah, he got to that ball quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, and he picked it up cleanly, and on the run, he whipped it back to the stump. Jamal Milton was still struggling to get up to the stump. So that was a sharp bit of fielding there by a substitute fieldsman.
Oh, that's a big hit from Preston McSween. Whoa, what a shot. It was pitched up to him, and you heard the crack in the bat. It didn't go for 6, but he picked it up sweetly, one bounce towards that deep mid-wicket. And this man, that's how he batted Anil against Guyana. He got 86, and those were the type of shots he played. He just took on all the bowlers, and it was his day, and everything he hit turned to goal.
It's a good pickup, but he got more height in the shot than distance. Look at that. He was getting under it, lifting it. He didn't get the distance, but he did hit it with a lot of power.
I thought that had gone actually, because you heard the song on the bat crack.
Yeah, he hit it in the
middle.
middle.
For 6.
But he was too much under it really, and he got a lot of height in the shot.
So the end of the over from Archibald. He has completed his 9 overs, 3 maidens, none for 29. McSween is on 13. It's 176 for 7. Denver is going to have strike, and no doubt it's going to be Raheem Cornwall to continue.
Well, why not?
He's going for a niner.
No, he has 11 wickets in the match, Colin. He's got 6 here, 5 in the first innings. Well. He's going to finish this tournament way ahead of any other bowler.
It's because Jeremiah Louis hasn't picked up one in this innings, and he's got 17. When you look through Anderson Phillip, who, before the start of this game, he had 13 wickets, was the leading wicket taker for Trinidad and Tobago. Imran Khan had 10, Brian Charles 12, and I'm talking before this game against Barbados. And McSween himself, he's picked up 5 wickets, so he's gone to 13 for the Windwards. Denver, he has 15 wickets, because he picked up 2 in the first innings and then 3 in the second innings. So he is gone to 15 wickets. Denver, very different type of player to McSween. He's going to push and be very defensive. And when you look through Guyana, Pumal has 13, Moti has 11, Kimo Paul has 11. Then you've got Makino Mindley out of Jamaica with 13, and that's before this high-scoring game. And Raymond Rifa had 9 for Barbados. So you're right, Raheem Cornwall at this point in time is way ahead of everybody. Cornwall is going to bowl his final delivery to Denver. It's probably going to another maiden over, because Denver is quite content to different to McSween. McSween is not going to play long forward in defense. If it's anything with McSween, he's going to try to hit it over the top. I can't see him just stretching long forward to Cornwall in defense. But it's the end of the over.
Cornwall, even though he had a couple of men in the deep and he was bowling to McSween, he wasn't concerned. He was playing that slog sweep down to backward square leg. So
That's right.
that's how he bats. That's how he bats.
He can't help it.
Yeah.
You know, you can have 6 men on the boundary. He's going to still go after whoever is bowling. So it's going to be a change, and the slow left-arm spinner actually is going to come into the attack now, Anil. It's going to be Daniel Durham, because he's had 9 overs, 7 maidens, none for 7.
Yeah, he needs to bowl.
It's going to be interesting. Is he going to give it some air to McSween?
Well, let's see if he realizes that the pitch is turning a bit. I don't see why he wouldn't want to exploit that. You got a turn-in pitch. You should be glad if there's a man at the other end looking to play shots. Always have a chance of getting him out.
Cornwall has taken Preston McSween's bat and just tried it out and is giving it back to him now, as if to say, so that's what you're hitting this deliveries with. So McSween, very enterprising. He's on 13 from 10 deliveries, and he's not, I tell you what, with McSween, he's not going to hang around. It's either he's going to get Durham or Durham is going to get him. There's no push and prod and bat and pad close together and in defense. You may see that for a ball or two, but in general, you're going to be looking for that ball going somewhere over mid-wicket or mid-on. Well, that's one defensive prod.
Well, there's a long off, a long on, and also a deep mid-wicket. So he's got some men posted there if he should miscue the attempted big hit. A slipper forward short leg.
Durham bowling round the wicket between the umpire and the stumps. That's a quicker flat delivery. And McSween was just trying to whip it through the onside. Seemed to have just maybe hit him on the pad and went out towards Django. Well, he's gone after it. This in the air, or that's put down, is it? Or is it the taken? It's a fine catch. If that was taken, it's an absolutely superb catch. Was that Devon Thomas?
Devon Thomas?
Devon Thomas.
It looks
but
like Devon
what
Thomas.
a catch. I thought for one moment, Anil, he put it down, but he was sprawling, diving, coming forward. It is Devon Thomas. What a catch. He ran, I would think, about 10 meters and then dived forward and held on to it inches from the ground. For one moment, I couldn't see if he actually held on to it, but he's taken the catch. So Preston McSween, he couldn't resist the temptation of going after the left-arm spinner, and that's a magnificent catch by Devon Thomas. What a catch.
Brilliant. He held on to it. He was diving forward. Those are hard catches to take when you have to dive forward, but he got both hands to it just before it hit the turf, and he held on quite nicely to that. That's a great catch there by Devon Thomas. And the young man Durham, he has picked up a wicket here, Colin. I was calling for him to come on the ball all the time.
Yeah, he's picked up, that's his second wicket in the game. Because
that would give him some confidence as well. That's his second wicket, yeah.
Yeah, he picked up the wicket of Martin in the first innings.
I was talking about the second innings.
But it's his first wicket.
Yeah,
because Cornwall has got
one
6
in the first innings. Yeah,
Cornwall 6, Thomas 1, and now Durham 1. So the new batsman has come in. And, but what a catch! Absolutely brilliant.
That's a big boundary on the eastern side. Both side boundaries are pretty big here at the Queen's Park Oval for this game. They're played on more or less the middle pitch, and that's going against the breeze as well. But that didn't make the catch any easier for Thomas. It was dropping quickly.
Yeah.
I thought that he wasn't going to get it at one time, but he's a pretty good athlete, Devon Thomas.
Well, the batsmen have crossed 176 now for 8, and the new batsman, is it Josh Thomas?
Yeah,
Denver is going to pick up some runs. That's a nice shot outside the line of the off stump, and he guided it down to a third man, and they're able to pick up. No, it goes into the boundary, and that's 4 runs. That's a good shot from Denver. Really good shot, because it was wide of the off stump, and all he did was to open the face and guide it down to the third man position for 4. So it's now 180 for 8. Loud appeal goes up. He's given them. So Denver goes LBW for 7. LBW to Durham. So Durham has picked up 2 wickets in the over as Denver goes for 7. Faced 25 deliveries. Let's have a look at it, Anil.
Oh, yeah. The front part seemed to be in front of the stump, and it was a quick straight delivery. So Durham picking up 2 quick wickets here. This first over for the morning, and he's picked up 2 for 9 here so far. That's very good going by Durham.
So it's 180 for 9, not 178 for 9. It's 180 for 9, and Durham actually has 2 for 11 from his 10 overs, because that was a 4 signal by the umpire off of Denver. So Denver has got 7. He's out for 7. Caught Thomas off the bowling of, LBW Durham for 7 from 25 deliveries. So the score, in fact, is 180 for 9 and not 178 for 9. And Durham 2 for 11. So the last pair, the final rights, really and truly. So it's Martin and Martin is at the non-strikers end. It's going to be Josh Thomas. He's going to face Thomas. Going to face Cornwall. As Cornwall trying to pick up his 7th wicket. That's a good shot. Nice shot from Thomas. Just delivery turning into him, and he was just guiding it down towards fine leg, and they pick up 2 runs. So the total up to 182 for 9.
So just the final wicket here, and the final rights would be performed here. Rakeem Cornwall is on the ball, and so well this man has performed in this game, especially with the ball. 6 wickets he's got to his name here, 6 for 45, and over number 28. Remember, he got 5 as well in the first innings. Have a pretty good rest tonight, Rakeem Cornwall. That would be a tired body.
Well, he's got a couple of days off as well, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday before they start back on Wednesday with the final round. In his 28th over. And the first innings he bowled 22 overs. So he's bowled 50 overs so far, or he's coming up to his 50th over in this game. That means he's bowled 150 overs for the tournament.
He wants to beat back the late Ranji Nanan. Oh my.
Well, the similar off spinners.
Yeah.
As the final delivery from Cornwall.
Similar size. Ranji was big burly as well.
He was. Ranji was big.
No way close to Rakeem
No,
Cornwall.
he, in fairness to the late Ranji Nanan, wasn't as big as Rakeem Cornwall, but Ranji was pretty burly himself. Yeah. He's another one who carried his weight well, I thought. But it's the end of the over. 182 for 9. Martin is on strike.
Durham, 2 for 11 off 10 overs. Thought he should have been on a pretty much earlier here, but can't complain really. They've been picking up wickets. The thing is, the wickets were going to a spinner, and I thought that Durham should have been on because the wicket was offering a bit of spin and third here for the spinners. Let's see if he can improve on his figures. A loud shout for LB. Well, did the umpire decide that he was struck outside or something? Let's see. Have a look where the front pad is. Oh, I don't know if it hit the outside of the front pad or the inside. The inside would have been out.
Well, Martin going after Durham. He's may have come off the inner part of the bat. It's running down to the boundary. It's not going to get there, and they just pick up 2 runs. So 2 to Martin. So he's off the mark.
Could have gotten 3 there, Martin, but he was not interested in that third run. His
got the impression they thought it was going to the boundary.
I'm not too sure, but you always got to keep running if you're not too sure whether it's going to reach the boundary. But they don't show any interest really in running a third run there.
In there, straight to Powell, and that's the end of the game here. The Windward Islands bowled out for 184 as the last man goes here. Martin just having a swing at it and hitting it straight to Powell at the mid-wicket position, and he goes. Durham has ended up with 3 wickets as Darius Martin goes for 2. He just faced 3 deliveries, and they're all out for 184. The Windward Islands disappointing because they started today on 127 for 3. So they've only added 56 runs, 57 runs, and losing 7 wickets. And the Windward Islands certainly winning here very comfortably by 228 runs. A victory very easy in the end. And the players making their way off in very sunny conditions here at the Queen's Park Oval, and it's ended just before the luncheon interval. Well, let's have a look at the scorecard. Melius, LBW Thomas, 51. He batted pretty well, the top scorer in the innings. He faced 58 deliveries. Devon Smith went court. Louis bowled Cornwall, 12. Hodge, LBW Cornwall, 43. He batted a long time for his 43. Seemed to come into his own today, but just couldn't continue playing back to Cornwall. So he went LBW for 43. Athanase went bowl Cornwall, 14. Ogis was out this morning, not adding to his overnight, 18. He went bowl by Cornwall. Kottoy, LBW Cornwall for 6. Smith, that's Dennis Smith, the wicketkeeper. He went bowl Cornwall for 7. Kenneth Demba went LBW Durham. He came on and picked up the last 3 wickets, getting Demba first for 7. Then McSween, he had a few big hits, but tried one too many. Eventually went Court Thomas off the bowling of Durham for 13. Thomas was not out on 2. Martin went Court Powell, bowled Durham for 2. And there were 9 extras, just 69.3 overs the Leeward Islands needed before they dismissed the Windwards for 184. Let's have a quick look there at the bowling figures. Louis, he had 13 overs, 46 runs, no wicket. Archibald, unfortunately, he ended up wicketless in the game. 9 overs, none for 29. Thomas, he had 6 overs, 34 runs, 1 wicket. Then the pick of the bowlers, of course, Rakeem Cornwall, 28 overs, 45 runs, and 6 wickets. And Daniel Durham came on late this morning and picked up the last 3 wickets to fall. He had very impressive figures of 10.3 overs, 3 for 13. And Kieran Powell had 3 overs yesterday for 13 runs and not yet to pick up a wicket. All out for 184, comprehensive victory, Anil, by 228 runs, the Leeward Islands winning. And when you look back on the first day when they were 179 for 9, who would have thought that they would have won this game so comfortably?
Well, congrats to the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. A very commanding performance again, Colin, winning by a huge margin here at the Queen's Park Oval. And that's to complement the other 2 outright victories that they had so far in the tournament. So it's going to be a real interesting final rounds coming up now that Leewards have won outright. Barbados winning outright as well. Probably just a point separate both teams. So that's going to be a very interesting final round. But you must pay credit to the performers in this match for the Leeward Island. Firstly, Colin Archibald. What a performance that was, coming in at number 10, which, as you said, the score on 179 for 9 and taking it to 333. I thought this is what really set the game up for the Leeward Islands. That first innings total certainly would have demoralized the Windward Islands. And to see how well Louis bowled in the first inning, Jeremiah Louis bowled extremely well as well down at Diego Martin against the TNT Red Force. And he repeated that performance in the first innings. He didn't get among the wickets in the second innings, but that doesn't differ from the fact that he performed well. And the big man himself, Rakeem Cornwall, 11 wickets in the match, Colin. How much more are you going to ask of Rakeem Cornwall? So a good performance by the Leeward Islands Hurricane, and quite deserving they won here at the Queen's Park Oval.
Oh, no doubt about it. The Windward Islands were very much in the game up until the 9th wicket fell, when they had them 179 for 9. But that huge record partnership, the 10th wicket partnership, was excellent between Archibald and Durham, and they turned the game in favor of the Leeward Islands, and from that point they never looked back. They had the Windward Islands under constant pressure, and in the end they were deserving winners, as you quite rightly said. There is a summary of the scores. The Leeward Islands 333 all out, Windward Islands 173 in their first innings, the Leeward Islands in the second innings 252 for 8, and then the Windward Islands falling for 184 and losing by 228 runs. So that's the situation here at the Queen's Park Oval. It's victory for the Leeward Islands. The last round of games takes place on Wednesday, and it should be a fight to the finish between Barbados and the Leeward Islands. We're not sure what's happening with the Guyana game at the Diego Martin complex. Could they, if they win outright, they could very well be in the mix as well. So that's the situation here at the Queen's Park Oval. On behalf of all of us, our production crew, our cameramen, it's on behalf of Anil Raja, my fellow commentator, this is Colin Murray saying thank you very much for viewing and at the Queen's Park Oval, and we'll be back on Wednesday for the final round of games. Until then, it's goodbye from the Queen's Park Oval. Oh God, I see that man bring lunch, boy. What? You ready, fellas? Lunch, boy? Check it first. Check it first.
Alright, boy, get tea.
I'll play along, boy. I'll play along.
The game finish early, but I'm
play along, boy.
Football play football today. Oh, what the Champions League, man? I forget about that.
What do you, boy?
No, but
Since you could forget that.
Since Real Madrid break my team, man, I love for that. City, since Real Madrid beat up City, I don't know that. That's how I get it.
You're a City man?
Yeah, I'm a City man. I want to have Liverpool beat Madrid.
I mean,
Hey,
I never
lunch
forget
here.
to make this man born
I want
Liverpool
Liverpool beat up Madrid just for beating me.
It off.